So I'm currently building, but before I start the second part, I wanted to do a few updates. I got this message.
The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
And also second, I wanted to research the Mercersphere in Summer Sloop since I forgot to do so last time.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy,
Let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
Interesting. How about the Mercersphere? I was not expecting that hack during the message, to be honest.
Mercersphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, B, in the local Mercersphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercerspheres can also transmit data between specific.
Witness our scripture. Witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing us a song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While FICSIT has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
Interesting. Well, first thing I see is the dimensional depot already being visible, as well as obviously the power augmenter, which is very overpowered. But I don't know what this purple thing is. I believe it's probably whatever you get for Sam ore, but I don't have Sam ore yet. I did also make a Xenobasher, which is the entire reason I even came back to the hub. And I got a purple power slug from the lizard doggos. They got like a severe boost in items. I literally just got 2 Noblists. I got the literal cooling system. There it is again, 18 more cooling systems. These guys are cracked now. I want to find more, but I can't. I haven't seen any more. I demand more. They're so overpowered. It's actually insane. I am kind of tempted to try and snipe myself a Sam node. Although I don't know how well that would work out. I can try. Yeah, why not? Let's try it. You know, I was planning on finishing this platform. But I guess we can give a shot at Sam. I know there's a Sam node in this ravine, so... like, why not try it out at the very least? Also, my computer hates this game so much. But I don't blame it, because this is a game notoriously so hard to run that it blows up hardware regularly. Hello, buddy. I'm a little bit less afraid of you now, because I have actual adequate equipment. Damn, that was actually really easy. So they did make these guys definitely easier, which is good. So yeah, the Sam is down here. And the main reason I didn't want to start doing this yet, other than the spiders, is this gas. Now, I say this, and I got a few Noblists from the Lizard Doggo, but that doesn't include a Noblist detonator. Dude, this is so low down. I know that it's not actually that low, it just looks like it. Hello, Bean Boy, why are you running so much? I'm gonna save the game and try and get down to that bit. Don't think I upset anything. At least not yet, but it's abysmally dark down here. The flashlight does literally nothing. There it is. Hello, spider. I knew you were down here. Now, yeah, I can just do that. And then conveyor lift my way up. Okay. We have a belt. I'm gonna hook this up to power first. It's working. The SAM ore is coming down the line. Now the interesting thing is whether or not it is going to stop. Because originally SAM ore was limited. So essentially, long story short, could only get a little bit of it and then the miners would break. Come on down to SAM ore town. And this gas plant is annoying. Well, all of these are annoying, but I can't get rid of them yet. Pick up SAM. It looks really good. I'm not really sure what SAM does. I'm pretty sure it has a production line, but for what, you know? And what level is it? Like, what resources do you need for SAM production? The summer sloops seem to need like tier 5 and 6, but what about SAM? Like, what does SAM need? I don't know. We're about to find out. I haven't been watching any content on the game. Eventually I probably will for a bit of inspiration, but I haven't been watching any content yet because I don't want everything to be spoiled. I just want a bit of build inspiration and maybe a few references. Alright, I think this is probably enough SAM to get something started. Ada hasn't yapped, which means probably wants me to go in the MAM, and I'm just going to put another one here because this is probably going to be a busy area. I don't know, maybe. Most of the stuff is temporary, so, you know, it is what it is. Alright, let's research actual SAM. SAM fluctuator and
Strange alien
reanimated
matter
SAM.
analysis completed. Dormant crystalline SAM can now be found with the resource scanner. In its dormant state, it is safe to handle without special equipment and can be stored indefinitely. Research for enabling the reanimation of dormant SAM is now available.
Fill the rivers with blood and let the effigies defile our temples. The sun will follow.
Interesting. Well, unfortunately we won't be able to get SAM fluctuators yet because we do not have steel. So, most of our SAM adventures are going to have to go on hold. What do you have to say,
SAM
Ada?
reanimation recipe unlocked. SAM can now be safely awakened, provided it is contained. Meaning, if not contained in special electromagnetic storage, it tends to start breaking atomic bonds of any matter it has physical contact with, and reconstructing it into easily transportable resources.
Scripture and blood compose harmony. Follow our hallowed temple halls and listen to the echoes of your ripples. Our bones are more beautiful than yours.
Odd. Yeah, we cannot get SAM fluctuators yet. And also, saying it has to be safely contained is odd. Alright, so I thought, why not start up on some automation, because I am tired as heck of running around and having to make reinforced plates all the time. I'll take the iron wire. Realistically, odds are there aren't many hard drives left with the tiers we're still in because we haven't been tiering up much. We don't even have steel yet. But yeah, I calculated how much iron we should need, which is 500 basically. I'm gonna round it up to 500 even though it's 498.75. In fact, you can see I did all the math over here while I was at school today because I had nothing else to do because school is lame as hell. Obviously we don't have good enough belts for this style of automation yet. So you might be asking yourself, why are you doing this kind of manifolding then, if you know it's not going to work? At least not efficiently. And my answer to that is, so I don't have to rebuild this factory 40 times over, because it no longer can support what I need it to. And what I mean by that is I can upgrade the entire factory's production by simply upgrading the belts and nothing else. That's something that if you can set yourself up for in the late game is so useful. Being able to up your production just by simply upgrading belts instead of redesigning your entire factories over and over. Absolute game changer. Now, the question is, what do we want to start with? We could start with the plates, I guess, technically, because you need 2 constructors for that. Now, realistically, how much space do we want to leave? Probably don't want them any closer than maybe here. I mean, still want to leave a bit of space here to work. Okay, well then a plate constructor, fully overclocked, gets you 50. Well, then we need 3 of these. So we're just gonna put 3 of them. And this math is based off of being able to make one manufacturer of everything full overclocked on its own, plus whatever it needs to make other things. Because like obviously these plates, well, one of these is going to be just going to storage because it's the full overclocked one, because my goal is 1 full overclocked machine for everything. And then these 2 will be making reinforced plates probably for the modular frames and also to go into storage. So things like that. Now obviously these 3 are 75 times 3, and 75 times 3 is already bigger than the Mark II belts. So if you manifold here, these 2 at most are going to get fed, and then everything down the chain isn't going to work. Which is going to be the case. However, since I'm not going to be making my permanent storage system for a bit, the factories will only have to fill up one of these small storage containers, and then it'll backlog, and then eventually move on. That's basically my temporary solution. Because until we get into more like 4 belts, there's no real good way to avoid this problem while also future-proofing your factory design. Then next up would be rods. Now the issue with rods is you can make much less of 37.5 at a time to be more exact. Now, conveniently, well, kind of inconveniently, I guess, I'm pretty sure this does not divide by 37.5. No, it gives you 7.3. But what we can deduct is that 7 times 37.5 is 262.5. So what we can do is 273.75 minus that 262.5, I believe, and that gives us 11.25. And since 11.25 is our final number, if we want, we can go over yonder and just write it down. So constructor, I don't know how to write constructor, but iron rod 8, 11.25 per minute. I haven't used much of this list thing, but it's like impressively useful, especially if you have a calculator, like a physical calculator. It makes things a little bit easier because you can't have this one out while modifying the list. It just does not let you. So now I know that my 8th iron rod constructor is going to have to be at 11.25 a minute instead of the max overclock. And now I need to go get more materials because, you know, the usual. I really wish there was better lighting. I mean, I know you're not really supposed to play with lumen, but like, There's sometimes like this where the sun is out and it may as well be just not. Like, if I'm looking that way, okay, it's not bad. But like, if I'm looking this way, it's like it's already so dark everywhere. Like, bruh. Admittedly, I wanted to have 4 and then 4, but these also need to go into like these need to be turned into screws as well. So doing that isn't really that worth it. And then you can copy paste all of these, and if you do it right, you can walk on the top of them without jumping, although I failed like a doofus. Okay, that should be all the iron rods once we hook this up. And that should also be all the iron plates too, because we finished the iron plates. Which, other than copper, I think only leaves the advanced stuff. Like, outside of copper, I think, now that we have the rods and plates, we obviously need the screws too. Like, let's not forget about that, but like, that's easy. That's just another row of constructors, I'm pretty sure. But like, once we have that sorted out, I'm fairly confident that this is going to be pretty easy. Obviously gotta hook these up, because they aren't. And this is already Mark II, so that's good to go. None of it's connected to power yet, though, and that's technically for good reason, kind of. Depends. It's because I'm sure this is going to blow the ever-living crap out of the power grid. Because I have like 500 megawatts, and that's not going to be 4 anymore, plus there's at least maybe 5 assemblers, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's inevitable that we blow the power grid to hell, but it'll be funny. Okay, no it won't, but still. I can run biomass for a bit, truthfully. You might be like, why? Just add more coal? And truth is, I could if I had steel. And I don't want to. Well, technically I could overclock them a bit if I give it more water. Like, I could overclock the generators a bit more if I just gave it water. But still, pretty sure I have like the tiniest bit of coal leeway if I wanted to overclock them. But I don't have water leeway on coal power right now. And truth is, I have like at least probably 10,000 solid biofuel that I just don't need. So I'm just gonna use biofuel for some of it. Because an overclocked biomass generator is what, like 75, so it'll do for a temporary solution. Dude, I hate this straight mode. Like, actually. It's meant to be good, but all it wants, like, makes me hate is the fact that it's basically impossible to choose what you want it to do. It just chooses for you. And this is exactly what I suspected it to do. It always chooses the option you don't want. Unless it's in a very specific scenario that was built with the straight feature being dummy-proofed in mind. Like, I don't think I'm going to use a straight belt feature almost ever, unless maybe I'm doing like a long conveyor belt run and I want to be sure it's straight. I don't know if I'm going to do long conveyor belt runs. On one hand, I'm like, I want to use a lot of trains, but when you use a lot of trains on the same tracks with train signals, if you're not careful, it's really easy to lose all your efficiency to trains constantly having to stop for each other. And I don't want all isolated trainways. I would like on this save for all of them to be connected. Because if not, then you just have to have decoy trains that are just for show. And having a few of them, like, could be fine, because realistically, under normal gameplay circumstances, you're not going to be making a train that's much longer than like 4 or 8 freight cars, unless the fluid train, which fluid cars are terrible, so you need like 16 for like any like kind of fluid, almost always. Other than like nitric acid, that's like the only one that's like reasonable to transport by train. We'll see about the new ones. Ionized fuel is insanely overpowered in the jetpack. I did I saw it in action. It's actually insane. We're gonna need 675 screws per minute, which is going to be 7 constructors, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, I think I might have forgotten to add the extra the extra iron rod constructor. If I forgot the plate one, I definitely forgot all the base ones, which would include iron rod. That probably explains why I ended up with 500 instead of like more around 600, which is what I was expecting to get. For now, the screws are fairly easy to sort out. May as well go all the way over, because it is 7 constructors. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of these is only going to be at 75, and then that's that. The rest are all maxed, which means I actually get to save an overclock shard. And these are all going to be maxed out for that 675, which will eventually come when we have sufficient belts. In this case, this one's going to be Mark 5. It'll definitely take a bit. But that's kind of the consequence of using screws. You need Mark 5 belts often. Now, I think the only thing that I'm going to need like Mark 6 belts for, unless I'm like trying to use the entire Mark 6 belts, is screws. Because I have factories that use more than even the Mark 6 belt on a single like line. My heavy modular frame factory that I made last time, which is probably going to be about the exact same this time because it was built with the exact same mindset of one full max overclocked heavy modular frame manufacturer, was 1,700 screws, which is still bigger than the Mark 6 belt. By a considerable bit still. I'll just hook up all this stuff to power and then I'll get back to you because power is a bit tedious. Okay, now that should be all of the screws ready to go. I should clear the tags so that I'm done with them. That's the iron rods are done with, so that's good to go. The iron plates are done with, so that's good to go. The screws are done, so that's good to go. And then this is left. What should we start on? I guess rotors? Another one. And then at least 2 more. Now we're out of reinforced plates again. Lovely. That needs to be... I don't think I calculated for the extra rotors. Because I don't have an extra rotor manufacturer, do I? Unless I only need 5 rotors. No, I only need... Do I only need 5 rotors? No, I only need 5 rotors per minute, because the smart plating is the only thing that uses rotors. So this is the storage line, and this is the smart plating one. Well, it will be the smart plating one. And this should only need 1 overclock shard. And that goes up to 5. Whatever, I'll figure it out. It's because the belts are going to be crisscross chaos all over the place for this stuff. Now, I'm not going to say it's a good one, but it's one that I discovered from trying to make tight belt work. And it might work in this scenario, which is using mergers, even if you're not going to merge anything, as basically conveyor supports. So like that. I think it looks better than conveyor supports when you already have splitters down, even if you're not splitting anything. And now I'm going to have to go get more reinforced plates, so I'll be back in probably another 30 minutes of manual crafting. Alright, should have enough materials to continue now. So, we were at the point of dealing with the assemblers for the rotors, and I believe the plates. Yes. Which means we should, in theory at the very least, only need one for this smart plating now. Actually, should I move this over a bit? This is the downside of having automation, but having it all be temporary still. Hello, Bean Boy. I mean, I think that's everything now. I think the only thing that's missing is the stupid smart plating manufacturer. If I just hook up to the last assembler here in the line, everything should be done until we hook it up to probably a temporary storage solution. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't want to start making a permanent storage solution until I have more of this building built. Because I want to know what I'm kind of working with, and I want it to be very high up. So I want to be able to walk out of the front of the storage room and see a lot of the map. I'll be able to make it work. So what I was gonna say is crystal oscillators. They need reinforced iron plates. I thought they needed just screws, but no, they need reinforced iron plates too. But those need screws. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to use the screws from that and throw that into the storage. Because, yeah, why not? And if I don't do it for crystal oscillators, I'll just do it for something else. Something else that has excess iron that I don't really feel like using for anything. Because truth is, manually crafting screws, as tedious as I make it look, the screws themselves aren't the problem. It's the fact you have to craft screws just to manually craft something else, like the plates and the freaking rotors. The screws aren't the problem, it's what you have to then later, it's like you're double manual crafting for ridiculous amounts of time when you don't have at least one of the two. And plus, the only thing I know of off the top of my head that needs screws is often equipment or the awesome shop. Straight up. I know I said I probably have leeway to overclock the coal generators, but truth is, I'm not sure. I have water leeway, but I don't think I have coal leeway with 6 plants on Mark II belts. Alright, you know what? It's not fully done, and I forgot the modular frames earlier, so I just added them to the loop. But I am tired of having to make reinforced plates to finish all these conveyor belts. So, here's what we're gonna do. We are going to try to kick this thing on. Do I expect it to work? Not at all. I expect the power grid to fully explode. This has got 134 megawatts max consumption. All of that is going to go up significantly because it doesn't calculate overclocking until the machine actually produces at least one thing. Yeah, that's not going to go well. Probably worth kicking on the biomass generators over here, or burners, or whatever the hell. Sir? How did you manage? I came in here, and they instantly disappeared as soon as I... Look, they're just doing it again. They're teleporting. I don't even need to try and show you because it just happened again. They keep teleporting. I don't know, like that one just disappeared. I don't know where it is now. It's probably underground again. Yeah, he is. If we go up there right now, it should be slowly filling everything in. Other than copper stuff, which I mean, is not that hard. I just need to get the copper node there, probably move it over. Like what copper, like what purity is that? Because there's no copper nearby here, really. This is the only one I know of. It's normal. Like normal copper is all you ever need. Like I don't think it's worth routing this copper node yet. I'm gonna keep this one for stuff later on, like electronics. Hell, even this normal node here should be able to last me a while. Like if I just split this node, I can get the copper from it. Alright, but it's like, yeah, this stuff's starting to produce. Yeah, it produced the belts. Produced 2 rods. Revolutionary. Yeah, it's gonna fill up on belts first, because it's gonna fill up on like plates first, because that's the first thing in the line. But like as these fill up, it's gonna start working properly. I can work on the copper stuff while this starts filling up, actually. I will say the slugs do look very, very good when on the ground. Just been farming away at stuff. I made a bit of temporary storage. I started on steel. I did the copper. Just been working on getting the smart plating done for phase 2. We're getting there. This bell hasn't moved though, so it's getting to be quite a bit of a mess through here. But yeah, the iron's all good. These are up to Mark 3, although the screws are going to need to be like Mark 5, so that's not going to be ready to go for a while. Awesome synced some SAM because it's the best thing to awesome sync early on. This is the copper. It is making cable, wire, and then copper sheets, as we'll probably be getting, I presume, into probably fuel fairly soon here. We might have to make another coal plant first, but like when we do fuel we're gonna need a lot, and then obviously there's steel, which is fairly fresh, so it's still chugging along. Yeah, so I think there's only like a few things still missing. I have no cable, goddamn it. Okay, so like I was saying, there's a few things still not automated. Obviously, versatile framework and automated wiring. That is because for versatile framework, we need to do modular frames again if we want to have them automated. And automated wiring needs the stator motors line up, which we also do not have. So yeah, you need stators, which involves steel, as well as motors, which involve rotors and stators, and a lot of rotors at that. So, long story short, we need more power. So, I think next episode is going to be making as big of a coal power plant as we can. As much as I want to leave the lake up here alone, I think it's kind of inevitable that we're gonna have to harvest it. Because this belt is already maxed out, and we're basically maxed out on coal until we get marked 4 belts. At least for this area, because both the nodes are used. This one's on steel, this one's on coal. But there's a lot more nodes over here, which is where usually people build their fuel plants, so that's where we're going to be probably building a fuel plant in the next episode, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, that's going to be it from me for this second episode of Satisfactory. I unlocked the Caterium finish for that sweet gold aesthetic. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. I just thought it was cool, and I thought, why not get it?